My fellow invaders, welcome to one of my favorite games, Banished. Now, I say this is one of my favorite games because it really is. I bought this game about 2 years ago, and I have over 350 hours on the game. So you know I've been playing this game a lot. Now, I never really wanted to make a video on this game because I thought maybe it's not exciting enough to actually make a video. Maybe people won't watch it or anything like that. But then I watched one of Jacksepticeye's videos, and he said there's not a lot of tutorials out there on the actual game. So I decided, hey, I've played many hours on this game, and I'm pretty decent at it. So I'm going to make my own tutorials on the game to help those who want to play, like learn what to do, and how to get the right step forward into how to actually survive and get their little village to grow. So we are going to start a new game. Let's see. Let's name our little town Invadersville. Yeah, because I am the invader and you guys are the invaders. So let us invade this little world. Okay, I'm gonna pause the game real quick. Now I'm starting on normal, which means I start with a storage barn. I also get 30 hide coats, so my villagers here in this little bubble will have enough clothing for just them and a few more people. We have enough tools to last us about a year, and we have enough food to last us about a year, a little more, give or take. So that's normal. If you go with easy, you start with, I think, I also have about 5 families. You go with easy, I think you start with more people. You start with planting seeds, or you'll start with planting seeds on this one too. You start with a lot more stuff to help you get going, actually help you further in the game. So what I like to do when I first get into the game is instantly pause it, because I don't want the time to keep going while there's nothing getting done, because time is an important thing in this game. So I always start with, where is it? Getting this little button right here. So it shows general statistics about the town, which is always good to have. And I always keep it up in this corner. I have 19 homeless people, which means about 5 or 6 houses need to be built not first thing within the first year. And the best thing to do when you're making houses is, say there's right here, there's 10 adults. So I try to make 5 houses, so that way there's 2 adults in each house. You always have to have at least 2 adults in each house, so that way they can keep making babies and make the population grow. So the only way to make the population grow is to build more houses and get more adults. So when the children here, they hit about 10 is when they can start working and are considered adults. But if you build a school, then they wait until they're 18, well, about 18, 19, depends on the person. Then they're official adults and can actually start working. So you always gotta keep an eye on that. And the best way to keep an eye on that is when you build a town hall, but we'll do that later. Now, our little bubble here tells us everything we need to know. It tells us what time of the year it is. It tells and how many years it is. This is year 1, early spring. And this tells us how many people we have. We have 10 adults, 9 children. The children, they're just there to run around, be crazy, and do whatever until they turn 10, and then they go straight to work until they get to school, and then go until they're 18. Now this shows us all our resources, which is all right here and right here. This shows how much food we have, how much alcohol we would get, how much herbs, leather, tools, and hides, or clothing, which would all be in the storage barn later on. Now this is our stockpile. I always try to build 2 when we first start out, so that way it doesn't all pile on top of each other. And once this gets full, people just start leaving stuff everywhere, and it just makes a mess. And you can also see here where all this is. So we have our wood, our fuel, so either firewood, and if you run out of firewood and you have a mine, you can harvest coal, and you can use coal to warm up your houses. So they both kind of help out. And then they also show us how much stone you have and how much iron you have, which are both very good, because you need mainly stone and wood to build most of your buildings, and you need most of your iron to make your tools. So always make sure you have about enough of all this. Now, the max tools you can have for one little building is 50, and Well, you'll see how things go as we keep going. Now this is the overall health of your citizens. See, average health of citizens. So far, it's perfect. For your people, you want to have a balanced diet. So have some form of vegetable, whether it's your someone out gathering food, or you make a farm and people plant crops and stuff like that. You want a meat source, so either fish or you go hunting. See, right here, we're gonna put ourselves a little fish stand. Oops, sorry, push your buttons. And we'll put that down right now. Right here on the food tab. Click on fish. Now, in order to rotate, you either push R or T to help you rotate everything. So, bloop, plop that down right there. Okay. As you can see from the map, this is the only way to the river. That way, and through here. So what we want to do is eventually, well, I'm going to put it down now so I don't forget. We are going to want to put in a trading post. This way, just click. This way later on, when we officially have all the resources we have or we need, and we have enough people, we can build this. Put that right there. Or we're going to pause it first. There. We're going to leave this here for now, but eventually when we get it built, we'll have traveling merchants who will come in on boats, and they'll stop here, and you can trade goods with them, which is the only way to get actual herding animals like sheep, cows, and chickens. So that's the only way you can get those. So that's why we're going to wait on that for now. Not a priority, don't need it. Okay. Now another thing I like to keep in on my screen at all times is right here. Assigning jobs to citizens. This is always good to have up as well because you get to see how many laborers we have, which is how many people will do the job you tell them to do, like gather all this wood, gather all these rocks, so on and so forth. And also go around gathering other resources that are just lying about that they can just pick up and carry off. And these are our jobs. Yes, it looks like a lot right now, but it gets very easy. Trust me, because, let's see. It's always best to start with assigning 2 builders. That way, you get the job done pretty quick. And since we're going to be having a fishing hut built, let's add 2 fishermen for now. Okay, so let's unpause and get our people starting that. Now, if you want to know what these little question marks are above their heads, that means they don't have a job or they're waiting on their job. Those will be our fishermen. So once this is built, the question marks will go away. And all the people with house symbols on them, that means they don't have a house. They don't have a home. But that is okay. We will build them a home. See, these are all the adults getting to work. Hi-ho, hi-ho, off to work we go. Alright, now, let's see. Another thing I like to do, pause that real quick. Oh, no, we'll leave it. I like to, because I am very, very particular on making sure everything is nice and neat and organized. So I have that OCD bit of me that wants to make everything absolutely perfect. So I like to put in a dirt road. And no, I won't put that right there. Okay, I'm pausing that real quick because I want to get a good look at this map. Because you can put a lot of good farming in this area. See how big and flat it is? It makes very good farming land. And back here, we're probably going to put something else. So right now, let us put... Yeah, we'll build right next to it. Why not? Well, no, we'll do it right next to it. Okay. One thing I like to do to make sure there's always plenty of food within the first year or two is always build your fishing hut first and at least 1 farm. It's always good to have at least 1 farm up because you always start with at least 2 crops. Okay, let's start it here. Now the biggest you can make it is 15 by 15. So I always try to make it as big as I possibly can. Now when our little workers here are, they brought all the materials here so they'll have the beginning outline of the building. And then our 2 builders will get to work on actually making it. And then everyone else will come over here and clear our little field. So let's get 4 farmers. I always like to apply the max farmers to the amount of fields there are. That way you know you get the most possible work and most food you possibly can. Because food is very important in this game. Once people start starving, they're going to stop dropping like flies. and you don't want that. Alright. And let's speed up time, because this is going to take a minute. Bloop, bloop. 10 times the speed! Woohoo! See? Slow this down. Bloop, bloop. Our little fishing hut is officially built. Ta-da! Oh, yes, I know there's snow on the ground, and it's supposed to be early spring, but hey, sometimes in other places there's still snow on the ground during early spring. If you live in Wisconsin, you know what I mean. But yeah, now you have 2 people here fishing, which is great. And all these people are starting to clear out our field, so we'll have plenty of food, which is, well, they'll start to make the food, which is great. Now, some of the best crops to have, if you're lucky, are beans and peppers and cabbages. Those 3 are the fastest growing crops you can get, so they're always really good to have. But sometimes your farmers aren't the best. I mean, they might... Aha! See, we have peppers. Great. We're going to plant those right away, because those will grow nice and fast. I always like to have an early harvest, which sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't happen. Early harvest is right before autumn. So once this says early autumn, whatever is planted here, whatever's grown, your farmers start taking it up and putting it in the storage barn. Speaking of storage, let us make ourselves another stockpile. I always like to leave a gap between everything so I can build sidewalks or roads. So let's put in some dirt roads to make it look a little more civil. And put it that way, that way. Oh, if you're playing, well, there's 2 ways you can rotate the camera. Either Q and E, or your scroll button, middle scroll mouse button. Hold that down. You can also do that. I just like to use Q and E because I use keyboard, so why not? And always scroll back down, of course. Nice even rough. Make sure everything's nice and neat. Ta-da! Now another thing you want to start out with, there. Another thing you want to start out with is, where is it? Ah, it's a woodcutter, because you always want to make sure you have enough fuel to last you through the winter. Because people will start griping, complaining that they're cold, there's not enough fuel, and that's understandable. So we're gonna put that right in front of our storage barn. And the few people, our 2 laborers we have left, will bring the materials here, and then our builders will build it on up. Okay, now let's see where we want to start putting houses, because eventually, yes, you have to start putting down houses so people don't freeze it up. Because we don't have the materials to make clothing, so they can have nice warm clothes, so we gotta build houses so they don't freeze and have a nice comfy place to stay. Let's see, let's build our houses. Let's build it over here by the farm. Yeah, that should be a good place, right here. Okay. Now, I like to start out with about 5 houses. You should have the materials already needed for those. If not, simple. You just tell your laborers who are out and about to start gathering things. So, let's put down 2 houses right now. I have a little deer, soon you'll be food, but not yet. Let's see, houses. Now you have 3 options when it comes to houses. You have your wooden houses, which is usually what you first start out with because they don't cost as many resources and they're simple enough to build. So plot down 3, wait for those to be built. Now later on when you have enough stone, you next start building a stone house. Those are nice and fancy and less likely to burn down. Oh, there's a little question mark here. This means, oh wait, I need to assign someone to be a woodcutter. And voila. Now these numbers right here on the side, I don't know if you can see them, will tell you how many people are able to work on that job. So if I had enough people, I can have 6 builders because I have enough work for 6 builders. I have the max number of farmers working, which is always good to have max. That way you can hopefully get the best out of your crops. And then I only have 2 fishermen because, well, I kind of have a little cheat on, I think. Do I have the cheat on? I don't think. Well, one of the mobs is where, no, I don't actually have it on. But one of the mobs you can actually, are something you can add to the game where you get twice as much for your resources. That's really good to have on, especially if you're really struggling. Like even in beginner mode, if you're really struggling, you can just download that into your game. That way you get twice as many resources for everything you gather. and it'll hopefully help you along a little better. But fish, almost always the fish, you always get like a lot. You always get lots and lots of fish. At least I always get lots and lots of fish. Oh, we now have 3 laborers. Hooray! Which means some of you are now 10 years old. Let's see. Are you 10 years old? Yep, see? Age 10. At age 10, they're finally able to work. Yeah. Ta-da! Let's see. Who are you? You are a male. Your name is Wood? I don't think your name is Wood. I think it's supposed to be your job. Nope. His name is Wood. Hello, Wood. Alright, let's see. His clothes are okay. He's not educated. Soon, once you put a school in, and which is always good to have a school. When you get a school and you actually get students going and they start learning whatnot, they'll become better workers and they'll do their jobs 10 times better than people who are not educated. So eventually, you're gonna need that. But wow, I've never known someone named Wood. That's funny. Nice to meet you, Mr. Wood. Alright, we now have 3 houses almost built, which is great. And how is our farm? Farm is at 13%. Great. 13% at late spring. Oh, look at it go, woo! Like peppers, always growing nice and fast. Alright, now, another thing that I'm gonna put down, don't need it yet, but I want to put down, where is it? A blacksmith. The first 2 buildings you want to build other than your houses is always the woodcutter and the blacksmith. Because you need the wood cut so you have fuel for your houses, so your people stay warm. You need a blacksmith because eventually you will run out of tools. Because as you see, get rid of that, we're already at 28 tools. Which means tools go by fast, and once you run out of tools, your people can't work. And we don't want that. Okay. So, I'm going to cut ahead in the video, and I'm going to show you how things are going and how things are surviving at the very beginning of spring. I'm going to cut ahead in the video and I'm going to show you how things are starting and going at the beginning of winter. Okay, I am back. Now, it's not winter yet, but it is already autumn. And since it's already autumn, all our crops are officially up and gone and already in our storage farm, ready to be eaten for this winter. Now, as I was working on stuffage, I have another field ready to go. We'll probably get that up and ready to go once I get 4 people. I always like to wait until I get at least 4 people to start my next field. Unless I'm going to be doing an orchard, then you'll only need 3 people for the farmers, which is great. I also have a blacksmith here that just got done building. Here, let's unpause that. Our houses are almost officially done being built, which is great, just before winter. It's always nice to have the houses up and ready to go before winter so your people won't freeze. Now, I like to have my workers, or whoever's working, there's the first frost. Here, let's slow things down real quick so I can speak without having to panic. And slow. Okay. Now, after your crops all harvest, that's when I like to give lots of orders on what people need to do or they should do. I don't like telling too many people, hey, go mine up this thing of iron, or go chop down these things of trees. Because I'd rather have my farmers working in the fields and not off mining something. So when they do that, they're not focusing on what their main job is. And then that's when your crops don't grow to their fullest and you get a weak harvest that year. And it's just not the best. So, it is late autumn, going on to winter. And we have lots of resources just sitting about. So let's get all this up. Because as you see, we need lots more wood and we need lots more stone. And those are 2 very important things, like I said, that we need for building. So, let us get up all of this stone. And let's speed this back up. And buttons. Aha. Okay, we can get up all that stone. And let's get up this iron too. Buttons. Aha. Okay, eventually you will run out of resources. Well, not really run out, but I don't think you want to send your people all the way over here just to get some wood or stone or iron or whatnot. That's where these things come in. Now, this right here is a forest lodge, which I like to place in the best spot where you can get the most out of it. So if I wasn't putting farms here, I would stake it here, because that way everything in the yellow circle become trees, and then all those trees will be chopped down and replanted over and over and over again. They're pretty much tree farmers. That's what their job is. But since I'm putting farms here, we are not going to put this here. Oh, well, I could. No, we're not going to do that. I was thinking about putting it here. I mean, a lot of the circle goes up on the mountains here, so that's not the best. Could possibly put it there and build a tunnel to it. Maybe. We'll wait on that for now. Okay. Another thing that is always... Oh, look. Get the iron up already. Wow, I didn't even notice. See what happens when you talk? Lots of things get done while you know when they're done. Oops, that's stone. Iron. Need. Up. Now. Please. Thank you. Let's see. Aha, more stone. Always need more stone. Yes. Stone is very important to have. Right now, when you start to run low on stone or iron, that's when you start building mines and quarries. So if you run out of stone, run out of iron or want coal, you build a mine, which I like to put in the most convenient place. See, right here is perfect, because see this green arrows down here at the bottom? That's where they line up with the sidewalk or the road. So I'm gonna put that there, but we're gonna pause it for now. We don't quite need it, and we don't really have the resources to build it anyways. And when you run out of stone, you put down an actual quarry. And these things are kind of big, so we're not gonna put that down quite yet. Okie dokie. So far, everything is going pretty good. Hello? What are you doing? Why? Oops, I put it down as herbalist. Oopsie. Oops, it's supposed to assign the blacksmith, not herbalist. Okay, now one thing I do have added to the game is well, two things actually. Fish farmer. If say you are put somewhere in the game away from water, say, oh, what's a good spot? Say you're starting off like over here, and the only bit of water you have is this itty bitty little stream. Not too good for fishing, right? So that's why I down a little mod, sorry. And that's why I can fish farm. And when I eventually get cattle, we can start milking them and whatnot. I can turn their milk into cheese and yogurt and stuff like that. So I have a dairy farm, or dairyman, whatever. Uh-oh, we need trees. Trees are much needed. Alright, and let's get rid of all of this. It's already going on late winter, which means spring is about to start, and I'd rather my farmers farm during that time. Oh, we also have 6 laborers. Perfect. Let's do some pumpkins. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's already spring. But that's okay. We'll get up to the wood real quick, and then our farmers will do what they need to do. They're farming. Woohoo! Ooh. Sounds a little on the loud side. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, those are like some of the most basic things to start out your little Banished village. Well, those things I like to do to make sure a good start. Because we're already on year 2. We have enough houses for our first few families. We have fish and crops going in, so we have a steady income of food, which is always good. And we have our woodcutter and our blacksmith built. So that way we always have, well, not always, well, hopefully you have enough wood to keep you warm, and tools built so our people keep building, which is a great start. We're also not in a bad place either. I mean, this is a pretty decent place to start off. I mean, I like it. Now if you get pretty good with the game and whatnot, and if you like, you can do a lot better, you can start with hard mode, which I think you only start with the people, and that's it. Which means you have to go and get your own storage barn. You have to make sure you have enough food to last you through the winter and stuff like that. Because eventually your people will start to starve and die and so on and so forth. Oh, one thing I forgot to talk about, I am sorry, is this here, the average happiness of your people. Now, eventually this will start to go down because people will start to get a little bummed if they do nothing but work non-stop. Now, some of the things to keep them nice and happy, their spirits up, are 3 things. First is, where is it? Aha. place down wells. Wells are a nice communication spot for the people. So say if they're not too busy farming or fishing or whatnot, they can go hang out at the well and chit chat. Nice little spot for them to hang out. And also, it's good to have lots of wells around, so to prevent fires. Fires are one of two hassles that definitely happen throughout the game. You can eventually just have a... I like to build my house nice and close because it takes up less space and it's a cute little coziness. But if this house caught on fire, then all of these houses are catching on fire. That's why it's always good to have at least one well built, or hopefully you're close enough to the water if people can hurry and go and put it out. Another thing you sometimes have to worry about are tornadoes. Tornadoes suck. They really, really do. If you're lucky and one spawns, it'll go around your village. But most likely not. It's going to cut right through your village, and everything and anyone that's in its path is going to die. It's happened to me so many times where I've had a huge, huge village going. I have lots of people. I have like 100-some people. I have lots of farms and buildings, and my town is going great. Then a tornado comes and rips everything up. It's a very, very sad time. It really is. So yeah, and our last thing that helps people stay nice and happy is when you build a church. Nice big church. We are not going to build that quite yet, but eventually we will. Alright, so in our next little tutorial village, or video, sorry, I can't speak, we are probably going to build a church, build a school hopefully, and I'm gonna help you guys expand your village, or give you hints and tips on the best ways to make it grow, make it bigger, and how to get nomads, which are good things and bad things to have. So if you like this video, please invade that like button down there bottom of the screen. Yep, thumbs up, thumbs up. Also don't forget to share and comment and all the other jibby jab, and I will see you all next time. Stay weird out there, people. Bye!